Good afternoon, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. This is the CBS42 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alex Finney, and for Jamie Langley, thanks so much for joining us. New at noon, the Republican National Convention continues today in Cleveland. Day 2. We'll see members of Donald Trump's family take the stage, as well as even more big-name speakers. But the controversy is already brewing after day 1 at the RNC, all thanks to those fiery speeches followed by accusations of plagiarism. CBS's Kenneth Craig joins us now from Cleveland with the story.
Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort is brushing off criticism about Melania Trump's speech that many say had striking similarities to Michelle Obama's 2008 convention speech.
Well, there are not that many similarities. There are a couple of phrases.
Word by word in a number of places.
It's basically 3 places in the speech, and it's fragments of words.
But critics argue it was more than just fragments of words.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
The controversy has knocked the Trump campaign off message at a time when they are trying to focus on the issues. Some people here in Cleveland say this is just a media sensation.
They're blowing it out of proportion. She meant everything she said.
Day 2 of the convention will see the end of the anyone but Trump movement, as the businessman will become the Republican Party's official presidential nominee tonight.
He's excited about the fact that his quest will finally come to an end, and all of you who doubted that he could be nominated will no longer be able to say, yes, but maybe it won't happen. It will have happened.
And the speakers will try to focus on jobs and the economy. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Cleveland.
The White House has yet to respond to the speech controversy. Meanwhile, today's theme at the RNC is Make America Work Again. It focuses on Trump's business experience and his plans to build up the American workforce. Speakers include House Speaker Paul Ryan, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and 2 of Trump's children, Donald Trump Jr. and Tiffany Trump. Well, Hillary Clinton isn't taking any time off this week. She's holding 2 events in Las Vegas today. Clinton spoke at the NAACP convention on Monday. In her address, she warned people about Trump splitting America apart. Well, new at noon, 4 activists end up in handcuffs in Cleveland. Police say they climbed flagpoles outside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this morning. They used a 625-foot banner to express their thoughts about both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. The protesting was to show, of course, they're against Clinton's stance on fracking and Trump's plan to build a wall on the Mexican border. Happening today, it's the deadline to qualify for municipal elections. Candidates who want to qualify to run next month have until 5 tonight to get their paperwork in. Voters will head to the polls on August 23rd. New at noon, Hueytown police say a woman is missing for days. We've been reporting this. Well, we can report today that she is now safe. 34-year-old Leslie Nicole Macy, who also goes by Nikki, was last seen leaving Sportster's Bar and Grill early Sunday morning with a man. Hueytown police say she's now located. They don't have all this know if the suspect was involved in foul play at this time. New at noon, people take to the streets to show their support for a new fire station in the Kingston community. And let me tell you, things got lively very quickly.
Fire station! Fire station! Fire station! Fire station! The people of the city of Birmingham.
You heard them there. Residents have pushed for a new station to open in the area since Fire Station 8 closed in May. People walked from Kingston to the Birmingham City Council meeting today to hand a petition to city leaders showing their support for a new station.
We gave them the power. We put that power in their laps. It never fell down until now, and we want it open. That $3 million that's in the budget, we want it spent on Station 8.
The City Council has discussed the new station and says it's needed, but the council has yet to approve funding for the project. New at noon, the funeral for a Dallas officer shot to death during a peaceful protest is underway. Michael Kroll's body was flown back home to Michigan Saturday night. A motorcade escorted Kroll's body to the funeral home in Redford Township. Kroll had been with the Dallas Police Department for 9 years before being killed in the attack. Happening today, an autopsy will take place on the ex-Marine who shot and killed 3 officers in Baton Rouge. Investigators say Gavin Long targeted law enforcement during an ambush Sunday. He was later killed by a SWAT team. Meanwhile, the community is rallying around one of the sheriff's deputies injured in Sunday's shooting. Nicholas Tollier is his name. He's still in critical condition. Well, a little bit closer at home here, blue lights will shine at the Alabama state capitol this week. Governor Robert Bentley says it's one way the state can show support to law enforcement. New at noon, a giant new haul of planets outside the solar system has been added to the list of those found by the ongoing Kepler missions. An international team of researchers discovered 104 new planets, including 4 that could have Earth-like rocky surfaces. The planets are between 20 and 50% larger than Earth by diameter.
Well, turning our attention to weather at this time, we're seeing some pop-up showers and even some isolated storms across central Alabama. Here's our storm track radar at this time. Notice the bulk of wet weather right now is confined in West Alabama, exactly where we thought things would kind of pop up first. Here's what we're looking. Look at Reform, Gordo, all the way to Tuscaloosa, right along that Highway 82 corridor, and seeing some lighter showers now to the south of Samantha. These are all tracking due south right now, but notice how they're literally just popping up. So what we're going to see are more storms really just popping up on the radar as these push southbound. Our eastern communities, you're seeing some rain as well. Shiloh to Lafayette, and then we're also seeing Alexander City. Lake Martin is seeing some wet weather right now at this time, and a gray cloud is moving over the camera lens here in Birmingham, but no rain. Check this out though, 92 is the current. It feels more like 101 outside. I'll be breaking down this hot forecast. Temperatures only getting steamier as the week rolls on. Details ahead in your Storm Track 7-day forecast. Alex?
All right, thanks, Ashley. New at noon, Secretary of State John Kerry introduces himself, the new administration in place in the UK. Kerry met with newly minted British Prime Minister Theresa May this morning in London. The conversations come just a month after the Brexit vote, when UK voters chose to leave the European Union. Kerry is also meeting the British Foreign Minister Boris Johnson to discuss the current crisis in Syria. Right now, one central Alabama family says they're finding closure. All of this in the midst of extreme heartbreak. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says they found the remains of Paula Worcester 2 years after she disappeared. Investigators say Paula's husband, Joey Poe, told them where her body was in North Jefferson County. They say he confessed to murdering her less than 2 weeks after getting out of prison. He was serving a sentence on unrelated charges.
We thought, okay, Joey's out now, he's going to walk, we're not going to have any resolution to this. And I'd actually told my sister, if it comes down between us finding Paula and Joey, rotting in jail, I would much rather him rot, because I want him to pay for what we knew to be true, even though we couldn't prove it. And it was like we got an answer to prayers instead, and we're going to get both.
Joey Poe is facing capital murder charges. He's being held in the Jefferson County Jail without bond. Well, food trucks are on the way to the city of Hoover. The city council gave the mobile restaurants the green light last night. The trucks will operate under the same regulations as normal restaurants. Food truck owners must have a business license, food truck permit, and also stay at least 200 feet away from restaurants. A public hearing to officially approve the new regulations is set for August 15th. Happening today, just how small can you build a house? Think about that. Well, that's up for discussion in the city of Homewood tonight. Zoning officials want to get rid of a code that determines how small a home can be in the Homewood area. But the city council wants to keep the code. Officials will discuss whether or not to keep those restrictions at tonight's zoning board meeting. Right now, there's a certain square foot requirement your home must be, depending on the size of your lot. But some neighbors say bigger isn't always better.
I still am pro, let's learn to live within our means and learn to live in the area that we live without making it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Homes that are already built would be grandfathered in, so this would only impact you if you were rebuilding or renovating. The zoning meeting is open to the public, and it's tonight at 5 at City Hall. Happening today, people in Walker County will meet with law enforcement and city leaders to crack down on drugs and crime in the area. The Walker County Crime Watch Group is hosting tonight's meeting. Members say the county is plagued with drugs and crime problems. They believe more communication between law enforcement and the community could really help put a stop to a lot of those issues. Now, if you live in Walker County and have anything you'd like to talk about with law enforcement, tonight's your night. The meeting is at 7 o'clock at Cordova City Hall. There will be a cookout beforehand starting at 5:30. Also happening today, people living in Bessemer, McAdory, and McCalla are encouraged to attend the Let's Talk community meeting. Law enforcement agencies in the area will be there to answer any questions and listen to your concerns. The meeting will start at 6 o'clock tonight at the Leston Farms Clubhouse in Bessemer. Well, your time right now, it's 12:11. Do you know the safest way to back up your data online? Think about that for a second. Next, what you should know about your cloud storage. As we go to break, listen to this, a live look from Cleveland. RNC coverage continues tonight at 5, 6, and 10. We'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at Noon.
Welcome back. New at noon, cloud storage is a popular way to back up your music, your movies, and much more, right? But it's also a major target for hackers. So how can you stay safe while using the cloud? Well, we got you covered. You've probably heard the warnings. Use a strong password, change it regularly, and of course, don't use the same one across all accounts. But experts say you should also check your cloud settings on all of your devices. Make sure it's set to a private page and cannot be easily accessed by the public. And if you do online shopping, check out as a guest. That way your payment information isn't saved. Some good information there. New at noon, living close to a fracking site could increase your risk of asthma. A new study says patients are 1.5 to 4 times more likely to have asthma attacks if they live near large fracking wells. The study's lead author says people living near wells are also exposed to excess noise. You have sleep disruptions and, of course, that air pollution. But they say more research is needed. Well, coming up, big news for one Birmingham company. The new deal for Golden Flake and major snack brand. We'll bring it down. We'll actually break all that down for you tonight on the CBS 42 News at 5. Well, your time right now, it's 12:15. A very important person is hitching a ride with a late night host. Coming up, we've got a preview of Michelle Obama's turn on The Late Show.
And we are looking at some rain falling over downtown Birmingham, stretching into Homewood right now. We're capturing that live on our Skycam. So who else is going to see the wet weather this afternoon? The answer's ahead in your Storm Track 7-day forecast.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at noon.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here in the Weather Center with Ashley Gann. And Ashley, as we were talking about before we came out of break, we're already starting to see some sprinkles, huh?
Yeah, we saw some rain on our Skycam as we were going out to break just a minute ago. And so here's a live look now at the skies. And that rain shower simply passed by. But there are some folks still dealing with some light rain here in the Birmingham metro. I know folks downtown, probably not the ideal time. A lot of folks headed out for lunch. They stepped outside. Everything was nice. Get inside to eat. And by the time they're heading back out, the bottom just fell out. So I'm sure some folks are trying to now make their way back to work. Temperature sitting at 92, and it's a steamy 92 with those dew points in the lower 70s. It feels more like 101 outside. Unfortunately, that rain's not providing a whole lot of relief. Here's a look at our storm track radar right now. I'm keeping an eye on the storms that are moving out of Reform and heading down towards Aliceville. Quite a bit of lightning associated with this. What's that saying? When the thunder roars, go indoors. Most of this rain right now is heading south, and As I put a little track on that and kind of move it off to the south, this is where the rain is moving to. Tuscaloosa in about 15 minutes. We'll see Moundville in about an hour, and then Duncanville about the same. Most of this is going to transition south of Interstate 20 within the next half hour to an hour. We're also seeing some activity in East Alabama, and what I also want to point out is there's a severe thunderstorm warning in West Georgia. That is still going to push south. That will not be impacting us, but I say that because the same dynamics are in place in the atmosphere here in Central Alabama. One of those key ingredients for afternoon storms, hot air. We're seeing plenty of that. Rain-cooled air in Jasper. That's why that temperature reading is 83 right now. Same with Coleman, but where we haven't seen much rain yet, like Pell City and Gadsden, temperatures are still in the lower 90s there. 88 currently in Alabaster, and as we make our way through the remainder of the afternoon, most of that wet weather is going to push southbound, and then overnight tonight things will clear out nicely. Temperatures on the rise tomorrow, though, heating up as the week rolls on. 97 tomorrow, near 100 for your Friday. Unsettled weather as we move into the weekend. And that's a look at your Storm Track 7-day forecast. Alex?
All right, thanks, Ashley. Your time right now, it's 12:20. The White House hits late night. Still ahead, when you can catch the First Lady's turn on carpool karaoke, and another as we toss you to break right now. We have a live look coming up of Cleveland. RNC Day 2 is underway.
Tomorrow is CBS 42 Day to Play approved.
Come see us at Alabama's Flight Adventure, open daily.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at Noon.
In entertainment news today, a classic is coming on back, this time with a totally different look. Pete's Dragon is heading back to theaters next month. The Disney story of a boy and his dragon is familiar, of course, to those who grew up on the 1977 classic. This time, Pete is a 10-year-old found living in the woods and claiming to have a mysterious friend named Elliot. Pete's Dragon hits the big screen August 12th. Coming up tomorrow night, a special edition of The Late Late Show with James Corden on the road. The Late Show will feature a historic edition of the infamous carpool karaoke, but the guest Well, it's none other than First Lady Michelle Obama. This is a look inside their exclusive ride behind the White House gates. You can catch their journey at the White House Wednesday night at 11:30 right here on CBS 42. Well, your time right now is 12:24. Stick with us. We've got much more right after the break.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at Noon.
Here's a quick recap of your weather for today. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-90s, feeling more like the low 100s and a chance of rain, so grab the umbrella as you're heading outside this afternoon.
All right, we're all going to need that.
Absolutely.
That's all the time we have right now, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you back here tonight, CBS 42 News at 5. Take care.